Welcome, dear audience. Welcome to you all at Acharya 90 FM, your own radio. After an interesting program, Conservation and Protection of Environment, we, the Junior College section, is here again with one more knowledge capsule for the young friends. We have here today Miss Kimea Gazre with us. The name may not be much on air, because she is a novice in the field of biodiversity conservation and wildlife management. She has completed her post-graduation in the same field. Her accomplishments have connected her with various non-governmental organizations, and thus she is an active soldier for the cause of community conservation and wildlife education. Kimea Gazre has initiated several awareness programs which connect people and natural world. She is an avid sustainability practitioner promoting recycling, and remarkable practice of hers is that she has personally invested in minimizing her carbon footprint. I understand, dear audience, the mentioning of carbon footprint has piqued your curiosity. Now, no wasting time, I invite Mrs. Shruti Junnarkar and Mrs. Deepika Saman, the teachers teaching biology in our college, and now they will connect you and Kimea Gazre, and you are going to know more about her work and also about biodiversity conservation.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Kimea, tell us what prompted you to take up such an offbeat, unconventional, and cool career.
Okay, so I don't have any straight answer to this question, but like from the childhood, I was very interested in the natural world, and I remember when I was in school, our school had this snake awareness session,
Okay.
which was conducted by someone from Sanjay Gandhi National Park. And from that time, I knew that I want to do something in this field only, like in the field of natural world only. And as soon as I completed my bachelor's, the pathways of wildlife, I knew that there is something like this which I can do. So I opted for this field.
Yeah, that's good. Before we start our discussion, those who don't know about biodiversity, for them, please explain this term biodiversity.
So biodiversity is basically anything and everything that is living, which is around you.
Right.
So like right from the plants, animals, fungus, everything which is living around you. That is the biodiversity.
Okay. We will like to know about areas where we will get maximum diversification, means variety of organism we can see.
Okay. So there are various factors which leads to diversification of animals and plants. There are no such areas where we will get diversification.
Okay.
But instead of, if we have various ecosystems, we will have various diversification. So if we consider an area, let's consider a landmass.
Okay.
If it's a large landmass, the amount of animals and plants there will increase up to a point where the area will reach its maximum capacity. So maximum capacity, the resources can be sustainable for the animals,
Right.
and plants, and after that time the curve will be stop there. It will not grow any further.
Okay.
So when we say about maximum diversification, we can consider 2 points. One is species diversification.
Right.
So where you can see maximum number of species. It may not be maximum number of animals,
Okay.
but the number of species. So that area is mainly the rainforest or the tropical regions.
Right.
So the country like India, maybe Africa, which is near the tropic of equator. So there the climate is more suitable, or it is more adjustable to animals. We have very controlled climate, we can say. Very like equal parts of rain, equal parts
Yes.
of winter. So that is the climate where most of the animals are suited for this climate.
Okay.
So that's the area where you can expect a great number of diversification or more animals.
Right. environmentalists always give a message, conserve the mangroves. So how mangroves would help to save aquatic life?
Okay, so mangroves are basically our soldiers, we can say. If you ever have heard, there are news or anything that any cyclones or mostly floods, they never affect Mumbai.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
in Mumbai, there are not as much effect as it's on other states or other cities. The main reason behind this is the Mumbai is entirely protected by mangroves. The mangroves are literally standing on our coast like soldiers. So what happens when a cyclone came? So like I guess last year we had a Biparjoy cyclone.
Yes.
That just bumped Mumbai coast and it went away, right? It just bounced. So what do mangroves do? So cyclone is basically when a hot air, it circles in the ocean water. It creates like a vacuole.
Okay.
So that's the cyclone, right? So mangroves are, you have seen mangroves are like from marine lines to mud there are mangroves. So they have their roots in ocean and they form like a very complex web in ocean. So what they do is whenever this cyclone or let's say a hot vacuole, hot and very high speeding vacuole, they bump the mangrove, the roots, they are so strong and these mangrove held each other very strongly. So the cyclone cannot disturb them. That's the main reason Mumbai has the lowest risk of floods.
Okay.
Or maybe even tides for that matter. These mangroves have the power, they can slow down the tide. And that is the reason as we are cutting our mangroves. Let's say for the example of coastal road.
Even Vikhroli and Airoli also.
Yes, even the Bandra. Like many people don't know the BKC extended area. It was not there like somewhat 70-80 years ago.
Yes.
The entire area is now encroached and it is developed by cutting the mangroves. So basically what do these mangroves do is they protect ourselves. And as we are removing the mangroves, it is very difficult to remove a mangrove without like putting high power machinery and everything.
Yes, that is, we are rejecting the boon
Yeah,
that we are having.
Exactly. So we are doing something which is against the nature.
Right.
And they are losing the connectivity. That's why like as we are removing the mangroves and doing developmental projects over there, there are more and more risk of flooding or maybe getting affected by natural calamities like cyclones. One more thing to aquatic life, as you asked, mangroves are an ecosystem in themselves.
Okay.
So like what's an ecosystem? Where animals, it's like a home where animals can live their entire life, right? So mangroves, as they have this complex root, it is also known as nursery for fishes.
Yes. For
So many fishes, they breed there. As because the mangroves are in shallow water, as we all know. So the fishes are safe there. Another thing is a big fish, like say a whale or a shark. There are less chances that they will go to mangroves because the water is very shallow. So the fish babies are very safe in there. So it's the entire ecosystem. So as we are cutting the mangroves, it's also a threat to fishes. Also in India, fishing is like one of the main business, right?
Yes.
So there are many small fishermen.
Yes, but that sector also will be affected.
Yeah, they are actually getting affected because of the coastal road and because of the other developmental projects. So
it is not only the marine life that will be affected.
yeah, exactly. Even economy will be affected.
Adversely affected.
Yes.
So it is a threat to our human life itself,
yes.
economy itself.
Yeah.
But through the environment, just now I remember, through the environment we also learn some values.
Right.
Through the mangroves, how you said the mangroves are hold to each other. So like this we can understand, maintain the unity between
Yeah,
us.
exactly. Yes.
So my next question to you, we all are know about the coral reefs.
Okay, so how they are related to the biodiversity in aquatic life?
So coral reefs are basically animals. So corals have organisms like zooxanthellae which are inside them. So and the coral bleaching, which is a term you may have heard of. So coral bleaching is caused by the increasing temperature. We all say that the
What is that exactly? Please explain.
yes.
Because our audience, all
Yes.
of them may not be knowing.
Sure. So we have heard of this term climate change, global warming. Everyone has heard of this term, but we don't know about this. So some coral bleaching is an example of global warming. So basically, as the temperature of this world increases, this affects the aquatic life, and corals are very sensitive. So as the temperature increases, they expel this zooxanthellae. Zooxanthellae basically provides corals of food. So when they expel zooxanthellae, corals don't get any food, and zooxanthellae are a form of algae, which gives them, we see when we scuba dive or we see some documentaries, corals are very colorful and very vibrant. But when zooxanthellae leave corals, they get white colored. That is known as coral bleaching. So corals are also home to many fishes. If like I think many people will be known Finding Nemo, the fish. So even many other fishes, aquatic life, they are home to them because they are like a web in itself. Like there is enough space to get food, shelter, and hide also. Even it again also impacts our economy because there is a large sector of diving, or many tourists come to these coral reefs to see the coral reef and the animal, the aquatic life which is under our oceans. So this also may impact the economic sector. Yes.
So few years back, there was a locust attack in a Jaisalmer farming. How will be a sudden rise in the population of swamp of locust, and what is the reason behind it?
Okay. So the Jaisalmer attack, it was I think in 2019. So there are there could be many reasons for this attack. So they were basically desert locust in Jaisalmer. So desert locust are basically a species of locust, as the name suggests, that lives in desert.
Okay.
Although they live in desert, they need a monsoon or like high precipitation to breed. If you remember, there was unseasonal rains in that year. So I think it rained something around in late February or April.
Okay.
This could be one of the reasons. So if you see, locusts are always there. It's not like locusts are not here.
Not there.
But this could be reason because they got this early rain, and the locusts are basically present around the desert area, which is like Rajasthan, some part of Gujarat. So this could be one of the reason that the locusts developed in surplus population. And when they are in small population, they are not harmful, okay? But only when they breed in greater number or they form a swarms. They also work like a unity, or they tend to raid crop fields. And a locust can almost eat more than its body weight.
Okay.
So like double, triple of its body weight.
Okay.
So that's the reason they are like a big problem for us.
But nowadays also we see the untimely or unseasonally rain, as you said.
Yes.
So yeah, I have seen that last few years this is happening quite frequently.
Yes.
Do you think that it is due to our neglecting of this natural, what you can say, balance or
Yes,
ecosystem?
it is a result of our natural ecosystem. Also, there are some environmental factors, but I would say we are exaggerating them, or we are increasing their impact. So there is something known as El Nino and La Nino, which is a which are the waves in ocean. So basically that happens in around in every 10 to 12 years. So they are not frequent, but because of the increasing temperature, as we talked, these waves are happening very frequently. So that could be one of the reason that the climate is changing, or we are having unseasonal rains, as you said, unseasonal hot, extreme temperature basically.
Yeah. Also yesterday also the
Yes,
That
it
is
rains,
what I
yes,
mentioned, that
exactly.
it has become practice of
Yes,
the
it,
nature
yeah,
nowadays.
exactly.
And because of that, some genetic problem is also creating because of the climatic changes. Like you said, locust, suddenly they are start
Yes,
to
exactly.
increase their
Yes.
breed.
All these
So
creatures.
somewhere,
Mutation.
somewhere genes are responsible for that.
Actually, this is a little early to say if it is causing genetic changes, but it is definitely causing behavioral changes.
Right.
Right.
Because there are some animals like locust, for example, which are which can readily adapt to these changes. And as we all know, the fittest survives, right? So there could be a thing that the some pests like this, they can survive more, and some we may lose some critical biodiversity,
Okay.
which may not be like coral reefs, which may not be able to survive these changes.
Changes, right.
One more question I remember too. When you mentioned in your lecture, zoonotic diseases spread all over the world. Okay, so how zoonotic diseases affected to the biodiversity?
Okay, so let me first clear what is zoonotic diseases.
Correct.
So zoonotic diseases are basically diseases which are caused because of animals. So how they affect biodiversity is, so zoonotic diseases, if we say, so most of our diseases are zoonotic, like COVID, then Ebola, HIV. These all are the zoonotic diseases, and these are spreading as we are expanding our habitat. So basically, we are cutting trees, we are clearing lands to increase our habitation, to make new home for increasing population. And this is the way we don't understand that we are expanding our habitat where there were first animals.
Okay.
And animals don't understand this. So they have their territory, they have the region. Today we say that leopards come in our home,
Yes.
but we don't know that before we went there, it was
It is
his
their
home.
Yes.
And like he is not going to understand
Yes,
that.
we
the-
have encroached.
Yeah,
actually.
exactly. And this is the reason human and animals are coming in close contact. We often see people are feeding monkeys.
Yes.
They
In many
often-
zoos and all.
Yeah,
they are literally
even
doing-
well, like some temples and all, they think that it is like some act
Gods.
of kindness.
Kindness.
Yeah.
But we don't know there are many diseases which come from monkey.
Okay.
Yeah, so this could be the reason. The zoonotic diseases not only will affect the biodiversity, but it will also affect our health, the human population. So HIV basically came from ape.
Yeah.
So the same way COVID came. So this could be a high time that we should be thinking about how we behave with animals.
For urbanization and for our better life, we can cut the trees. That is, of course, deforestation, right? So, how it really affects our biodiversity?
Okay. So not only, let's say, cutting trees, but when we have to understand this, when we cut a tree, we disturb ecosystem of that region. So like, let's say if we cut a tree in a forest, let's say that.
Right.
So not only yes, we are getting less oxygen and all that, like I think everyone knows. But the thing is, also the animals that are living around it. So the birds, the small
Yes,
creatures,
that is
even the big creatures, they are getting affected by it. So maybe they will think that this is a threat. And even if we are cutting one tree, it is affecting many things
Hmm.
which we often don't think, and we think that if we cut a tree here, we can plant it there.
Yeah.
But what
But
we
that
don't
whole thing
understand,
is
we can't
disturbed.
create a biodiversity.
We actually disturbing the one ecosystem, small
Exactly.
ecosystem.
Yeah, and we can't create it like
Yeah.
anywhere
Yes.
else.
Yeah, I have heard word that plastic is non-living nightmare, and that word stuck to me. So, would you please explain what is this actually?
Yes.
How it affect means plastic?
Okay, yeah. So there is like I would say this can be a two sides of one coin. So yes, plastic is a non-living nightmare, but on the other side, plastic is a miracle if it is used correctly.
Hmm.
So plastic is like, of course, we all know how what are the good sides of plastic. Like, yeah, we easily transportable,
Yes.
lightweight, durable, and everything. But the thing is, if it is used rightly, it can help us. But we often don't use it rightly. We even don't know. There are research which say an average human, which are living in a urban city, can be eating almost equal to one credit card of plastic every month.
Oh.
And this comes in various formats, like when we use a plastic bag to carry our hot food.
Yes, yes, that is one.
Yeah, then when we heat our food in a plastic container in microwave. Also through fishes, we all know that there are pieces of plastic found in fishes. So whenever we consume seafood or anything like that, so we don't often know that how the plastic will be coming to our plate.
It is very dangerous condition.
Yes,
Yeah.
scary.
I remember in the lecture you said that plant a native varieties, means species, native species.
Yeah.
Why it is important to plant these varieties?
There are two reasons. So one of the thing, as we have discussed early in the lecture, the India, like any tropical country, has most diversification.
Yes.
So we have a large varieties of trees which are native to India and which were there like from ancestral times. So you may have heard about like some trees like banyan, who was there like from 300-400 years ago.
Yes.
And largely as we are going to globalization, as the globalization is increasing, urbanization is increasing, these species are reducing. So that's why we have a seed bank where we can conserve seeds of the
Yes.
native trees. Even if you see, even in like around Mumbai, on the roads, you will see mostly gulmohar trees,
Yes.
which is not a native
Native.
variety, but they are just planted as an avenue species.
Ornamental trees.
Yeah, ornamental trees. So basically, what these species do, you may have heard about lantana or ghaneri in Marathi.
Yes.
So what these species do are they act as an alien. So what's an alien? They will take nutrients
Of the local.
of the local trees, and they need more water. So more water is wasted for these trees, and they will spread very fast. Like they will spread like a weed. So that's why we should know where should we stop and where the native trees are needed.
Okay. That is one more is that is Ecornia. Bengal,
yes.
Yeah.
Now,
Terror of
is it
Bengal.
so that as we have discussed, just you have told that each tree, it is having the ecosystem in
Yes.
itself. So is there any difference between the ecosystem that prevails in the indigenous trees, that is the native trees as you call it, and these trees which have come from, means the outsiders we may call them, or they have come and they are prospering over here?
Yes.
But can they accept, means what I say, as far as they are accepting the ecosystem over here, and if they are over here, what's wrong in that?
Let's say there is if they let's say if there are one or two invasive trees, they may not make much difference. So you can say like there are a lot of lantana or gulmohar which is planted. If they are controlled, they will not make much difference. But if they get out of control, then it will make a difference. Like we all know that we don't have space to plant trees, but the space is taken by some of the exotic trees.
Yes, it is. It is called Congress grass.
Yes. So that is where the problem
That
will
also, grows like.
weed
Yes,
basically.
weed. It
So
is weed.
even if we plant this tree, we have to control it.
Huh.
So where can get information about the native varieties?
There are like a lot of websites. You can simply Google it, but I would suggest there are most of the government websites which you can trust.
Okay.
So they are readily available, like something like NVIS.
Anyways.
They will give our information about the native varieties of trees and even animals for that matter, which you can trust.
Okay. One question comes in my mind. What is the carbon footprint and how can we reduce the individual carbon footprint?
Okay. So carbon footprint is basically, let's say, our footprint, which will tell us how much carbon we are using or how much carbon we have emitted in the atmosphere. So we all know that carbon is bad, it is harming atmosphere, or it is a threat to us. It is increasing the global warming, but we often don't know that how we are affecting. Many people think that like if we only do something, how will it affect? Like let's say कि like एक ही ने किया तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है, right? So but we
Because I am not doing anything
exactly.
for that.
हाँ, so I am not the problem. Other things are the problem.
Yes.
So carbon footprint is very interesting term where we can calculate how much carbon we are
is
emitting. So individual's carbon footprint is basically if you take a bus or a let's say
Public transport.
public transport rather than a local transport,
That is one
you will
step
save
ahead.
you will save a carbon.
Correct.
If you, instead of just dumping your waste, if you segregate your waste, if you compost at home, it will save your carbon footprint.
Yes.
So there are many very ways that you can save your carbon footprint. So some of them are like
Using sprays. I
sorry,
have heard sprays.
sprays.
Perfume, I mean.
Yes,
That is what I have
one of,
heard.
because there are many chemicals
Yes.
which may be harmful, not only for the environment but for us
Or
also.
deodorants or
Yes.
even the
Deodorants.
body sprays.
Yeah. Then the other thing are preferring to use public transport, like composting at your home,
Yes.
avoiding plastic.
Yes.
There are many ways, and these it's not like these ways are hidden or you have to do a research on it. Even if you Google it, you can do, like you can understand this.
Yeah, means at an individual level also
Yeah.
we can do that.
Yes, everyone can practice and can contribute towards
Exactly.
reducing the carbon emitting over
So
here.
how can we protect our environment in everyday life?
We cannot protect our environment directly, but we can help the effects we are doing
Yes.
on it.
We can
Yes, we
reduce
can
that.
We can
Reduce,
reduce,
reduce.
yes. So basically what we can do is, yes, the things we have discussed.
Yes.
Just now.
Yeah,
just now.
exactly.
About
So,
reducing the carbon emission
Using
from
reducing the carbon use. Then if we are planting some trees in our garden, preferring to native trees.
Yes.
And one of the main thing is being aware of what we have
That is
and
more
promoting it. Yes, exactly. So that's the main thing.
and good, you are doing that work. You have started at a very early
Early
age.
age.
Actually, our generation has come to know all about it little later.
Yeah, I think as the time passes, the newer generation are more aware about it, and the awareness about it is like increasing more.
Yes. Yes. So, what guidance would you give to students who want to pursue a career in this field?
Okay, so this is very interdisciplinary field. So first of all, like even if you are like late in your academics,
Okay.
you don't need to be like formally educated in this field.
Yes.
If you want to be educated, you want to get a degree in this field, it's of course amazing. But even if you are not, you can start somewhere. There are a lot of scientists, there are a lot of NGOs, some foundations, government bodies who wants a assistant, a volunteer,
Okay. Yes.
or
Very good.
yeah, and you can just enroll with it.
That is
And you
individual
can get in
involvement.
touch. And one of the good thing which I feel about this field is people are very open. Like it is not like they will not help you or they will not guide you. They are very open, and as it is a blooming field, there are not many people who know about this, or there are not many people who want to do this. So if you approach any NGO, they will be happy to get help. So you can volunteer and you can get to know from them that how you can help in this field.
Right. So, what is your future plan related to biodiversity and conservation?
Okay, so future plans. First of all, I would like to say that I want to like go with the flow, but I think that we all have a responsibility towards this society, which is like towards the nature. The amount of resources we are gaining from nature, right from our birth, we have a responsibility
To return
to
it.
give it back, right? So for that, I would like to say that I want to create a awareness and basically help those who don't know about this and who are getting affected. So according to some studies, the developed nations who are like almost 1% of this world, like let's say for the example UK, Europe, they are emitting almost 90% of the carbon, which are undeveloped nations.
Yes.
They are getting affected by it. So if we want to do something to control it, we have to do it on the large and mass population, and for that we have to start doing it individually. So there is nothing like no government, no policies are going to protect us. Of course they are going to be changes because of that, but if you want to do something, you have to make changes by yourself.
Right.
Right. I think that it is really a good message that you have given to all, especially what we can contribute. You did not to get some special training for that, or you don't have to invest literally some money in that. On the contrary, I think we are going to save our money in this
Yeah,
way,
exactly.
and even we are going to save the future generations also.
Right.
So, thinking of all this, I think that Kimaya, you really have enlightened us, and along with us, our audience also.
Yeah.
So, I'm very much thankful to you for coming over here and giving this all information. And Shruti madam and Deepika madam, you have really intrigued good questions which we always think of, but we cannot ask anyone. And I'm very much thankful to you again, and we would like to you have here again for a long talk. So now, dear audience, keep listening Acharya 90 FM, your own radio for such interesting programs. Thank you very much.